Who has accused you? Me are confused. Fire! Somebody help us! We are dying! We are dying!
Butere Girls staged It Is Well, a play about Rece Memorial Academy, a school for police officers' children that is raised down after bullying, exclusion, and poor supervision. Today, the play bears a chilling resemblance to Utumishi Girls Fire, another police-linked school where a dormitory fire left children grieving and the country asking questions. Was it well just a fiction or not? Today we speak with the former Kakamega Senator Cleophas Malala, who is also the writer. We really want to know what really inspired you to write this play. It Is Well. So it's actually 8 years ago.
First of all, I want to take this opportunity to send my condolences to the families of the children who lost their lives, and also to wish a quick recovery of the children who are still nursing their injuries out of the arson incident that happened at Utumishi Girls. That was quite unfortunate in our schools or any other institution in our country. As you all know, theater is a mirror of the society. We use it as a tool, or rather as a channel to express what we see in the society. I have been writing so many plays. To date, I have done approximately 83 plays. One of them has not been acted because we withdrew from the festival this year. It was a play by State House Girls titled The Sanctuary of the Broken Hearts. We had reasons. It was a play about mental health. But let's come back to It Is Well. When I do plays, my theory of conceptualizing an idea is not reactive. Is not a reaction of what is happening in the society. I always try to have what we call a prophetic analysis. I ask myself questions that I think our society is going to face challenges like, for example, pandemics. So I think futuristic. The current occurrences might be a trigger of my thinking in the future. For example, It Is Well is a play that was triggered out of the maandamano of the post-elections violence and demonstrations in 2017. We had the Unga Revolution, we had Rece, we had so many demonstrations just after the 2017 elections. And we saw in the informal sector, like Kibra, Madare, Mkuru Kwanjenga, we saw children taking part in the maandamano. Many Kenyans thought that they are just joking, it's just domestic drama, but it triggered my thoughts that these children are doing exactly what their parents are doing. They're emulating when children throw stones, when their parents throw stones at the police officers, they're emulating. And let me tell you one thing: children are the fastest learners. They can duplicate actions of adults without necessarily being taught. So we have seen children wanting to sort out conflicts the way their parents sort out their conflicts at home. When you go to school and a child has got a disagreement with the teacher, he will sort out that problem the way he sees his father sort out a problem with the mother. And therefore, I want to blame it on the adjudicators, or rather the consumers of drama festival content. Sometimes they are too judgmental when it comes to judging plays that want to expose the evils. Like this play was talking about conflict between the civilian and the police officers and how the grudge has been transmitted to their children. But when somebody sees this play, he automatically judges it as a political agenda. To me, I would like the officials to easen up the space. It is quite unfortunate that I saw these exactly occurrence 8 years ago, yet nobody appreciated it as a content that can change the society. Rather, they just looked at it as a piece of art which is there for competition.
This mission is not for the faint-hearted. Move, Alexa! Me alone!
I chose Rece Memorial Academy. In this sense, Rece Memorial Academy is an equivalent to Utumishi Memorial Academy. Rece Memorial Academy in that world of the play was a school, a girls' school that has children of the disciplined forces officers only. Utumishi Academy is the same. Most of the children in Utumishi Academy right now are children children of the disciplined forces. I chose that setup because I wanted, while choosing sets, characters, plot lines, you need to go out of the normal pressing. Disciplined forces are expected to have very high levels of discipline. So I put that play knowing that we shall have indisciplined cases in a place where we expect high level of discipline. So the concept itself is a conflict on its own. It's like putting a conflict where we expect to have a lot of resolutions, a lot of harmony. Like you say, we are doing maandamano in a church. You see, that is dramatic. Yeah. It is dramatic to say that instead of saying it is not dramatic to say that a dog bites Violet, but when Violet bites a dog, now that is dramatic. So I look at issues from a different angle, from the opposite angle, from the convex angle of it, and that is why I said let us set this play in an environment where we expect high level of discipline, but we have contaminated the environment with a lot of indiscipline. So that is the dramatic effect that I was trying to achieve.
Even in the play also you brought in the aspect of we have this a new student who is, the father is not a police officer or from the discipline forces as you say, but later on in the play we saw the aspect of exclusion, bullying, and all that. What kind of message were you trying to bring out?
Of course, our society has got different social conflicts. We have been advancing, of late, people have been advancing negative ethnicity against tribes. Like you see, we had Akikuyus being profiled against other tribes. We have had people having differences on their social classes, the hustlers versus the dynasties. And therefore, I wanted to have two groups which have which are in conflict, but the conflict is unnecessary. Like, for example, many a times we've had conflict between the police officers and the civilian. Police have been perceived to be bad people because they exercise brutality on the citizens. And at the same time, police have perceived citizens as crooks, as goons, and there have been no working or operating a formula between the police and the society. And therefore, I wanted to have a way whereby we can integrate the police with the society. Look at the housing scheme of the police that we have right now. Previously, we had police officers locking themselves in a police line. But now, since we had the reforms, from 2015 or 2016, we saw police officers now integrating in the community and staying in the community. So I just wanted to bridge this gap between police officers and the civilians. And since this play was being acted by a school, or rather, the content was mainly aimed for children below the age of 18, I thought it wise now to set it up in a child-centered environment.
Talk to us about this particular scene in the play where there is a fire, and you will hear one of the girls, actually the dominant girls in this particular scene, Alexa, saying that this mission is not for the faint-hearted. Please tell us what was going through your mind and why this particular scene.
In any revolution, we've seen leaders telling people bado mapambano, and you see, it is a spirit that is used to psych up people's spirits and mobilize masses against a certain school of thought. And therefore, Alexa was just emulating what he sees in the leaders who lead a group. We saw Raila Odinga saying bado mapambano. We've seen opposition leaders saying wapende wasipende, you know, hata watufunge bado tutasonga mbele. We had those chanting songs just to psych up people. And therefore Alexa was simply a tool, a juvenile tool being used to communicate how leaders incite their subjects without necessarily applying logic in critical, or when they're dealing on critical issues.
From Rece Academy to Utumishi Girls, do you see any sort of resemblance?
Oh yes, it's. I think the most unfortunate thing is that 8 years ago we had, you see, we had even envisaged or even identified the problem of having dormitories with grilled windows. If we had dormitories without grilled windows in the play, those girls in the play would have saved their lives. If we had changed the policy of dormitories being under lock and key at night with a matron or somebody else, somebody who is not seen, we need to have an open door policy when it comes to locking people in a room. We suggested those policy changes through that play. That come on, those girls are stuck in the window. They cannot move. They are burning. And therefore, what is the solution? The solution is principals should positively look at these plays and take them as a lesson for them. I want to urge upon the ministry inspectorate departments to implement the policies that had been suggested in the reforms when it comes to quality assurance of certain buildings. Why did we have a locked door at Utumishi Girls? Yet there is a policy that states dormitories are not supposed to be locked. So I think we had a lot of negligence. That's the sad part of it. Second part of it was that despite the fact that in the play, the adults had already been signaled that there is a potential conflict between these two students. Mr. Ayaya was there. He saw there was a conflict. The principal knew there was a conflict. The police officers manning the gate knew there was a conflict, but they did nothing. The conflict grew and mutated into something that was uncontrollable. So the same happened to Utumishi Girls High School, which the teachers had a glimpse of an emerging conflict, but they ignored it until such a time when we have 16 of our young souls lying in the cold floors of the mortuary. That's when they pretend to be taking steps. How many times have we had leaders knowing that we shall have Mandamano on Tuesday, yet they say nothing, yet they seem not to care? until such a time when people are shot on the streets ruthlessly. That's when leaders react. So it is quite unfortunate that theater is not being used positively in this industry. We've had plays being censored. Leaders have become paranoid, seeing themselves through the mirror of the mirror of society, and therefore just calling upon people to loosen up the rules of theater, to stop thinking that just because you are a student, you think childish. They have taken students to be children. They look at them as children. Yet these students live in the society that happens. You remember my play Echoes of War was banned and disqualified on the basis that it had content that is not child-centered. So you ask yourself, what content is this that you think it's not child-centered? Today, I'm very sure if 1 week ago, if you told somebody that you're going to do a play about children burning others in dormitories and demonstrating in school, they will tell you, no, that's too harsh for a child. Hey, you're polluting a child's mind. That mind has already been polluted because that child lives and coexists in a society that encourages such kind of behavior. And therefore, we want to call upon the President of this Republic not to suppress the thoughts of artists. You can build the hardware, you can build the laws, but the moment you are a perpetrator of suppression of ideas in this country, pumping money in that sector will be an exercise in futility.
According to you, what has happened actually is something that you thought of 8 years ago. I mean, and right now it happened at Utumishi. Will you regard it as just a prophecy or probably just repeated patterns that we've been seeing across the country?
To me, it's nothing new. But to the people who can now connect between what happened in 2018 in this play and what is happening now, they should now appreciate that. As a scriptwriter, we possess, or rather I possess, what we call prophetic analysis prowess, whereby we can see in the future. Sometimes not accurately, but we try to be part of the solutions of the problems that we will see in the future. I have done so many other different themes in this festival. We did a play called The Dirge of Port Lawrence in 2009 and 2008. The play was about brain drain, how the Western countries take advantage of the brilliance in African countries, take their experts at no cost. Right now, as we speak, we have seen our children, our doctors, the government encouraging nurses that kama umeandikwa kama nurse kuna kazi Ulaya. You know, that is what I was talking about. Why don't we have this expertise grow our economy? As we speak right now, the ratio, according to World Health Organization standards, the ratio of patient and doctor or nurse is too high, simply because we are exporting most of our expertise to other countries, yet we've not satisfied our demand. Look at teachers. We have a shortage of teachers, yet we are saying that we want to export that expertise to Saudi Arabia, to elsewhere. Manual work, you know the three factors of production: land, labor, and capital. So if you're exporting labor, one of the factors of production that you cannot do away with. So what are we doing as a country to ensure that we use the theater that we do positively to extract sense? And what does not make sense, you leave it on the stage because it is not a tangible thing. It is something that will not harm you. Another play that I did in 2011 was called Last Convicts was a play about the welfare of police officers. Police officers are undergoing a lot of mental health issues. Nobody's talking about them. These shootings you see on the ground or in streets, it's maybe because a police officer is mentally disturbed, akona asira, and therefore he exercises that instability in his mind to innocent citizens. We've done plays about dissemination of relevant information about reproductive health issues, just to educate our girls. So we have a variety of themes that we deal with. But to us, we are seen as politicians trying to infiltrate schools. That notion must change.
Maybe because you're a politician. Do you think that the government is actually taking theater or artistic work for granted? Because now, as you see, this actually happened in 2018. It's come to pass right now. Is it like the government is just ignoring, looking the other side, especially when it is talking about issues, power and governance?
The current government is paranoid. You wonder why a government can use excessive force to stop school-going children to do a play that is not destructive in any way, but is reminding them of the ills of this society. They hide under the guise of, we are protecting our children. No, the children want to protect themselves by telling you, come on, the corruption that we are seeing you engaging in, carrying monies in bags to go and misappropriate, yet we do not have, or you've not released the capitation monies to the institutions, you are affecting our institutions. So when a child talks about that level of corruption, you hide yourself under the guise of, oh, this content is too much for these children. These children are not the children we used to know. There is evolution. The child you had in 1985 is not the same child you have in 2015, and it will not be the same child you'll have in 2032. Let us appreciate that we have evolution. These children nowadays interact with technical issues on the internet. Nowadays, people do computer coding as a way of talent and not even academics. Things have changed. So let the current leaders accept that we have a generation that has got emerging issues, emerging trends are coming up, and it's incumbent upon them to catch up with the emerging trends.
Wanasema kwamba fasihi ni kioo cha jamii. You are the writer of It Is Well by Butere Girls. If you was to write it again, what will you add? What will you remove? Or how will you go about it?
Basically, I think I'm always inspired to think deeply. I come up with concrete ideas when, first of all, I have an in-depth thinking. It's not just a simplistic way of asking a question and then guessing. And you see, what we do when it comes to idea conceptualization, first of all, we create characters. We say my play wants to be a play about early marriages, and therefore I'll need a child who is underage and an adult who is forcing a child for its benefit, blah, blah. So you create characters in that world. And then you don't just come with a plot line. What you do, you live the lives of those individual characters as the person in conceptualizing the idea. So for a moment, I will spend like a day living in the shoes or stepping in the shoes of that girl who is being forced to marry. How is she feeling? How is she perceiving this thing? And then you also go and live in the shoes of that mother who is insisting that this young girl must be married at an early age. She has reasons. Maybe she is living in abject poverty, and the only tool that she can sell or product that she can sell is her own child who is underage. And therefore, you also understand that mother from that perspective. So after you do that in all characters, it takes time. Sometimes you want to insert your own personal feelings, but you realize that your personal feelings will distort the plotline. And therefore, it's not just a simplistic thing that add this, remove this, because it is content that is going to inform, is going to suggest solutions of the problems in our society, and therefore it's not a guesswork thing. But be it as it may, to me, I would add, you see, the play was set just in a school, whereby we saw a principal, head teacher, and students. To me, I would escalate, I would want to know the role of government officials now. What role would they have played in this role? Let's assume we have a minister of education. How would he react to this situation? What was the level of preparedness of this government to this situation? Where did they not implement? Why did they not implement the policies that they have written? Their government, you see now the education minister saying that those teachers, you are the CS education. You need to be receiving reports. How many schools have complied to which a policy? And therefore, let I would add in the perspective of government. And why did government not implement that? Maybe because it had no budget, maybe because wananchi had demonstrated and refused to pay taxes. And therefore, even education officers do not have fuel to go and do the inspection. So I would look at different angles just to spice up and cream up this idea. But I would invite Kenyans to download the play It Is Well by Butere Girls. That was a play that won national accolades. That play became number one at sub-county level, number one at the county level, number one at the regional level, and at the nationals we came second after Kakamega High School play, which was again my play called The Burdens, a play that was talking about indiscipline in boys' schools, and specifically when we have female teachers of practice. Their contemporaries coming to do teaching practice. And therefore, it was an interesting play, which I would also invite Kenyans to go and watch. It is on YouTube. It's called The Burdens by Kakamega High School.
I want to take you back to It Is Well. When you're talking about preparedness, and especially on the part of the government, the police officers actually came when the fire was there. It actually had grown huge and they were overwhelmed. They didn't have water. They didn't have extinguisher at that point. Was it what was going through your mind when you decided to give portray that, whereby we didn't have, they were helpless as much as they were in command. They were police officers, but they were helpless at this point.
It is the same thing that happened in Utumishi Academy. When you look at the location of Utumishi Academy, it is surrounded by the NYS camp, by the Gilgil barracks, army barracks. We have a police station there. The county government has got the disaster management center in Gilgil town. But all those people did not come to rescue these children. Utumishi Academy itself is being manned by police officers. So it shows the level. If this can happen to children who are in the proximity of them and the authorities is too near, what about we get such an incident in Ingolomosio Secondary School in the remote areas of Malava constituency? So to me, I think the authorities failed, and they should take responsibility all the way from the county government, the barracks. Why should we have a disaster center at the barracks and that cannot assist the community? And these are their children. What about children of civilians? How quick will they be helped? We see police officers responding quickly when it comes to arresting Changa brewers. Police officer, if a police officer knows that I'm selling Changa, they will come here in less than 10 minutes. But when we call them to respond to crimes criminal activities, they are nowhere to be seen. And therefore, this calls for discipline, and we need to have a definite protocol on how government should be responding to such disasters.
In this particular play, there is this lady, I believe she's called Rhoda, the new student mwenye alikuwa amefungiwa nje. And then we have the aspect of, I think, blame game shifting to her. And of course, we had a lot of issues that were playing behind. Of course, we had bullying, we had the aspects of, I think most of the teachers were not even taking up the responsibility in terms of just looking at what are the grievances of the students in the school and all that. So in the play, we are seeing blame being shifted to Rhoda. At this point, what did you want to bring out?
I wanted to bring out the moral decay in the society, whereby when you leave society to manage itself, we're going to have a lot of inconsistencies when it comes to putting order in the society. We've seen goons taking over towns. The authorities see that, come on, these are goons, and they are going to loot people's business. Police officers are watching, but simply because those goons are inclined towards a favorable side of the government, police do nothing. And when the inspector police come to, and you expect that we are going now to get a solution from the inspector police, you see the same goons plus the inspector police claiming that the victims are the ones who were demonstrating against themselves. You've seen that, oh, hii ni sarakasi ya Malala, vipindire, sijui nini. Yet you've attacked us in church. Everybody can see you've attacked us in church. And now you want to force us to believe that we attacked ourselves in church. So the children are just emulating what they see. We saw in that play that Rhoda was not the one in charge of that arson. But everybody just comes saying that it is you who initiated the arson. That level of responsibility, our children are not born with them. Our children simply looks at that scenario from their parents or from adults' points of view. That is why Rhoda was just an innocent girl who had experienced or witnessed violence in Soweto ghetto, and wanted just to continue with her education. But when she was just about to get admitted in school, the father donated his spectacles to her. That was a symbol. That was a figurative way of saying that, come on, do not use your eyes, my child. View life from these lenses. And you see, when Rhoda was putting on those spectacles, he started seeing life from a different aspect, from an adult's point of view, from an adult's lens. And at the end, when we were trying to suggest solutions and having a resolution to this matter, the principal, the mother of somebody, insisted that for us to move on and to secure our children, we must remove these spectacles that have been given to our children by adults. And the moment Rhoda removed the spectacles, she started looking at her colleagues as children, lovable creatures, and now cohesion and integration took center stage, and the play ended.
And forgiveness.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you feel that whatever you wrote in a play actually came to pass in reality?
I feel sad because nobody paid attention to it. It was just an entertainment piece. It has been on YouTube all this time, 8 years. You can see maybe only 10,000 people viewed. And we've seen content on YouTube that makes no sense, says nothing. And if it's uploaded, 2 million views, 3 million views. I would like to encourage our consumers or the consumers of content on YouTube, let us also be intentional to looking at content that can change our society. content is not about entertainment only. It's also supposed to be educative. Educative in the sense that, what am I getting out of this? We've seen songs propagating pornography, siaka, siaka, siaka. So now people look at siaka now, but refuse to look at content that can help the society. So I would like to ask the department that is regulating that space to actually promote pages or give incentives to pages that upload content that change the society.
Do you think that this is a wake-up call to the government to be able to embrace art and
Oh,
look
yes.
at it differently?
Oh, yes. I think it's a wake-up call to authorities, and more specifically to the education, Ministry of Education leaders. Let them stop being paranoid. But all this starts from who is leading. During Moi's time, people used to do plays. As much as he was perceived to be a dictator, he allowed plays to prevail during Kibaki's time. But the moment the 2013 regime, 2022 regime came in, it was all about a regime that is paranoid. You remember my play that was burnt, called Shackles of Doom. Shackles of Doom was talking about one tribe dominating in this country. The authority says, no, 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 hataki maneno. Last week, we had a discourse about Kikuyus being profiled, Kikuyus domineering in all sectors, and people wanted a truth, justice, and reconciliation approach toward the matter, saying, okay, can we do an audit? These Kikuyus are having more. But you see, I said that long time ago. Nobody paid attention until Omar Hassan the other day came and said, come on, you guys, can we do an audit on this? So to me, I think they should just allow us to think. And even if they cannot allow everybody, I beg, let them allow me to think, because I believe I have a prophetic analysis, and I use that analysis through art and not preaching. But in short, I should just be called Prophet Malala.
Maybe last but not least, other than the work, the artistic work, just, being celebrated as a very good production, talent, and, it's just forgotten after leaving the stage. What really needs to be done? As much as you're saying, yes, they should leave us, we should tell these stories, but again, what action should be taken after that?
We should have a definite approach and a definite, say, implementation matrix when it comes to what do you want to achieve in developing theatre. I've always argued we need to realign and put, and align the money and the talent development. It is quite unfortunate that theatre, culture, heritage is placed in a different ministry when it comes to budgeting of the money. Now you take money is meant for theatre, film, budgeting, and put it in IT, in the Ministry of Information Technology. And then you take the players of theatre and put them in the Ministry of Education, where the money is not there. So how are you going to develop it? You take the money for sports development, talent development, and put it in the Ministry of Sports. But the actors or the people you are supposed to develop, you put them in the Ministry of Education. So how then do you educate people who do not have resources? And how then do you account for the resources whereby you do not have the people to develop? So I would suggest for a policy change whereby the Ministry of Education, the aspect of talent development should be realigned to the Ministry of Education. Talanta Hela, we do not have, you cannot talk about Talanta and the people you are dealing with are 25 years old, 30, people are going to retire. When you say Talanta, you should be dealing with age 6, 7, 8. Where are those children? Where are they? They're in school. So why do you put the money in some ministry there where we have a CS who has got no history on sports, on theater. He doesn't. He calls all the items of theater drama. When he sees a choral verse, "Hii drama ni mzuri." You saw even the president himself was not able to differentiate between a play and a choral verse. But that's the person who has been done a very good script to read to us and lecture us on how children should be protected and how, Malala is doing a bad play. So William Ruto does not know the difference between a solo verse and a traditional dance. Come on. Basic knowledge. That person is now meant now to oversee theater. I think they should allow technical guys to handle that department. We see the leadership of drama festivals. These people catwalking during national festival claiming to be national officials have not even done a single item. Tell him, come on, can you script for me 2 stanzas of a poem? He's not able to do it. Ask them, what play have you ever written? I've done 82 plays in this country. 82 plays. I've assisted, so I've interacted with so many content. Up to today, I've never been given an opportunity to even disseminate my expertise during the national workshop. They look at me as a politician. But how I wish they would have used my expertise, embraced me, asked me to give my thoughts on theater and disseminate the same to the teachers and use me as an expert. But they look at me as an enemy. I have never adjudicated. The people who adjudicate my plays cannot even do 2 sentences in English. You bring a teacher teaching agriculture to come and adjudicate a serious play. You bring in symbols. For example, you say instead of just having a direct insinuation or insinuation of an intimate sexual on stage, you say you bring in a flower, a girl holding a flower, a rose flower, and a boy insisting, wanting to pollinate the flower. But the agriculture teacher now asks you, now why mbona kuweka fertilizer? Well, now you see, and that is the person adjudicating you. He does not even have the creative mind. So how I wish, let experts be experts and let experts run these ministries, these departments. We have seen teachers who have been doing well in drama. Oliver Minishi. Why is Oliver Minishi not the chairperson of drama, Kenya Drama Festivals? Oliver Minishi has done plays. Murungu, Butere. We want to see those people as ministers, as cabinet secretaries, as principal secretaries. What business do we have a principal secretary who does not know anything about talent? We have teachers. Daktari Chetambe was my teacher in French school. Kamsinga, a very competent teacher. And many teachers in the class confined at classroom level, they don't get even promotion. But we have very incompetent people trying to boss us around festival and saying that Malala utafanya. Yeah, we want to tell them we shall do drama. We are here.
Do you have any that is coming?
Yeah, of course. We are in the process of doing a play and a play called Who Killed Amolo? Who Killed Amolo? We are at a point whereby the last time I dropped off writing, I have reached a situation whereby it was too emotional for me to continue writing. I couldn't hold myself. So I started writing with emotions, tears rolling down my cheeks because of the things that were coming out in that play. And therefore, I decided to stay out of the writing first. I sober up, then continue. Next week, I'll be convening my panel of writers. I work with a team. I've been working with one Mr. Jeremiah Wabuti, who has been working in my team since time immemorial, since we're in high school. I've been working with Mwalimu Benjamin Wandalo, Omwami Makulukulu. He's called Bakunyetu Nalinyembe Makulukulu himself. I want to say that these are people who have been working with. I have products that I've trained. I have more than 300 students who I have trained to be directors. who also helped me in doing this. We have experts in musicality, people like Brian Aseli. We have experts in costume design, fashion. I have experts in stage, the artistry on stage, led by one Terence Esakina. I also have goons to help me carry the deckers like Beach Boy, and so it is an entire it's an entire ecosystem that carries so many. How I wish I would have mentioned everybody. I have choreographers. I want to also take this time to mourn my friend Xavier Nato, who died, who was a key inspiration to my world of theater. Arthur Odenyi, who also died. Rhino Kukuni, who also died. Those are soldiers who we've been with in this journey, and I want to take this opportunity to also remember them and respect them in the journey that we've taken. So when you see a play on stage, don't think it is Senator Cleophas Malala. We have thousands of people and talent behind here.
Wow.
We have a team called G40, a group of 40 able directors who have 40 products, and it's a big family tree. So I take this opportunity to also thank the teachers that I've worked with. Honorable Jairus Mulwa was the patron who gave me an opportunity to exercise my art when I was only 18 years. Mr. Indimuli Kahi, who is now running for governor in
Vihiga.
Vihiga High School, was my mentor. We have so many other teachers who have held my hand, and I want to attest this success to Madam Carol Okumu of Butere Girls. She has been the patron of Butere Girls until such a time when echoes of war came in. They mishandled her, they victimized her. Unfortunately, she was transferred to a school, and her morale has gone down out of how she was treated.
What about you?
We have teachers like Michael Beata of Butere Girls, Leah of Butere Girls, and even the principals that have been in Butere Girls. One of the principals that I celebrate of Butere Girls, who was brave, was Dr. Dora Okalo, the late. May her soul rest in peace. Dr. Okalo was such a fighter. When Shackles of Doom was disqualified, she did not shy away. She went to court. She got court orders. She fought on behalf of the board of management. We had a very strong board. Unfortunately, this other time we had a principal who was paranoid, who was timid, who was a collaborator with the perpetrators of children's rights, and she was very toxic. Madam Jennifer Omondi, a very toxic lady, and this we must say, and I'm happy she has now retired. At least talent will grow, and we will not have children being intimidated, blackmailing children. You're lying to children, pulling them down. I want to say that we had a lot of hard times in Butere times when we were doing Echoes of War. Enemies within. Of course, we don't feel good. It affects us. You know, a piece of art is something that it's your DNA. Yeah. So when a play is or a product of theater is mishandled, we feel so bad. And I always say, we leave it at that. I don't want to pursue that. It's an emotional journey that I don't want to go through. And especially when I think about the child. You ask yourself, okay, you're trying to punish Cleophas Malala. What about this child who's acting in this play? Who sees nothing about their play? And, you know, you come tear gas her, she tries expressing herself and even pumping sense into your black mind, but you're not saying anything. It is very unfortunate. When specifically you look at it from a child's point of view, it's something a father will not want to see going on in their children's minds.
At this point, as an artist, maybe what is your message to Kenyans? What you said, what you wrote in a play came to pass in reality. What is your message to Kenyans?
Pay keen attention to theater and pay keen attention to what exactly. I do. When I do a play, I delve deep into sensitive areas where people are paranoid, people are afraid to terrains which are very rugged. So I don't just do normal plays of Mama Kayai and Baba Kayai and doing round table and laughing just to make the president happy or to make a certain corrupt leader happy. No, I delve into serious societal issues.
Thank you so much, Cleophas Malala,
Asante
the
sana.
writer of It Is Well by Butere Girls in 2018. And we are happy for you.
Asante
We'll
sana.
continue clapping as you continue with the writing.
No, don't clap, just say one time.
For safety, they know it's right. Who has the keys? You! Me! We are confused!